Really the other challenge with a DIY search platform is it requires lots and lots of ongoing tuning to keep it working effectively for a business and their customers. Some of the challenges we see companies struggle with when it comes to search maintenance and tuning. The first and probably most common is just simply never establishing a search program to begin with, or setting up any kind of structured analysis, review, and improvement approach to search results. We see that a lot with organizations who didn't understand the complexity and work required to build their search engine initially. We also see it with organizations that are cost or resource constrained or simply haven't budgeted properly for search maintenance. In some cases, companies we work with may have actually assigned somebody to own search. However, it's often part-time or a secondary responsibility for someone, so they don't really have the time to dedicate properly to it. And they're often a merchandiser or a business user and lack the experience to really know how to establish and drive a search program from a technical perspective. Because what we're talking about is hard. I mean, you really need a cross-functional skill set to do this properly. You need someone who can gather all the right search data, so things like search terms and null searches, we talked about, conversion of search terms, get that by product, by customer. A lot of that data isn't available out of the box with enterprise search tools, and so you've got to build those reports. You need someone who can interpret that data and understand what's telling them, where there's opportunities for improvement, where there are issues, what changes need to be made, is what they're seeing really an issue or just a seasonal trend. And you need someone who can make the right changes to the engine. So in the case of enterprise commerce platforms and search engines, we tend to see some of those tuning aspects are exposed and they can be done by business users, but many require IT or development work, and as a result have to go through full dev, test, and release cycles. This all has to be established as part of a continuous process. Really, every change needs to be validated. You need to ensure there's no unintended consequences to search results that result in changes in indexing, priority, synonyms, etc. Romil, maybe you could touch on a bit on how some of what BloomReach does to make maintenance and optimization easier.
Sure, John. Actually, the ongoing optimization of search relevancy is a major task in itself. It's even more difficult than configuring it for the first time because what you are actually looking for is a business KPI like RPV or user engagement out of a search system, right? And the amount of signals that impact that, for example, price elasticity, the mix of users, seasonal trends, and so on, are so many in number, and they are so complex to tackle. So doing this manually based just on intuition is actually a major red flag, and that is what generally people resort to. So we practically only have two options over here. Either you have a search program just the way you mentioned, which is you look at problems from the data angle, you analyze the data, come up with a feature, test it, and push incremental RPV changes. Or you come up with a system which auto-tunes, which is a machine learning system which optimizes for the KPI. At BloomReach, we prefer the latter because even if you have a search program which goes through this thing, a machine flowing through this cycle is actually much more efficient and much more dynamic. So a machine can actually optimize every query per minute per user per the time of day and so on, right? So that approach is more future-proof and it utilizes all the advancement in AI and machine learning that we have today.